All right, good morning, everybody. This is John from ProCraps. I'm not going to do my normal the four roll challenge this morning. I have a lot to say. I want to get right into it because there's lots to go over here. Lots of small things today, kind of a quick moving show. So with that said, let's get right into it. But before we do, got to say good morning to all the early birds. I think Vince is first today. I think that's the first time Vince has ever been first, I think. Good morning, dude. How you doing? He wants me to make time to show everybody a comparison video on the don't pass versus don't come. I would love to do that. There's a huge difference there. There's a huge difference there, as you know. And the don't pass has the same problem that place bettors have when they're making the do I work the come out or not. The don't pass has got that same issue. For sure, I'll do a rollout of that because I think it's important to kind of bring through some of those differences. Good idea, Vince. Thank you. Thanks for the show idea. I love it. And good morning to SJ, of course, and Old Bay is here. Dice Arata is here. Dice Degen is here early. Love seeing all guys. Cooker River Craps with the new logo. You know we're going to be trading some chips. I got to get me a chip with that logo on it. That thing is super cool. That's very creative. I love it. Dr. S is here. Dr. S, I got a question for you in chat. I thought that I went to your channel a while back and you had videos out there. As a matter of fact, I know I watched a couple of your videos, but I'm not seeing them now. So I don't know what happened there. If I'm on the wrong, maybe you changed YouTube channels. I don't know. I've done that before too. Let me know what's going on there. And Midmo Yo is here as well. And Midmo Yo, Chiro, I sent you an email with a suggestion from a subscriber for a new question for you for the Here's the Deal. You probably got 50 of them all lined up, but the subscriber asked me a really good question. I didn't want to answer him in comments. I thought I would give it to you to ask the world. So when you see that, if you would, put it in your rotation, and good morning to Swerve as well. And there's so many more of you here. It's great to see everybody. Duracell with the morning reminder. I love it. 23 watching before I even started. That's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get into content here. Lots of things to go over. Oh geez, what am I doing here? I'm all over the place. There we go. The announcement screen. Let's get to this. I'm not sure why I'm having a problem getting navigated today. Here's the announcements today. First of all, reminder for Friday, it's going to be Rich T versus Big AZ. I'm not sure who's dealing that yet. We have to talk as a group still and figure that out. There's a possibility that I can deal it, but I might be on the road Friday. We're going to go see some family this weekend in the eastern part of our state. So I may or may not be available to deal. I'll let you know if I can. And if not, we'll get that figured out for sure. Next thing I want to talk about here is this. And this is kind of I got a couple of mea culpas coming for you guys so you can sit back and relax here. Words matter, okay? I want to talk about Randy and the delusionals. And here's why I say this. I put a video out the other day about the chopper and I put the video out because everybody is asking. You know, it's one of those things where I talk about it and I'm trying to describe it, whatever. But when we were in Vegas, everybody got to see me throw, of course. So like, well, that's a weird throw. What are you doing? How are you doing it? And and it didn't hurt that I had a couple of good throws there and people wanted to know the mechanics of it. So I put out a video with the mechanics of it and not realizing it as I did the video, some things that I said in the video were not so much controversial is the wrong word. And I didn't do the video with the intent of being controversial at all. I just did it to be like, hey, here's how I throw this thing. But it turns out I said some things in the video that were not taken well by some people. And I want to make sure that I publicly address that a little bit because it's important to understand, especially in 2022, words do matter. And we forget that sometimes. And we just kind of say what's, going out there. And to some degree, you should have thick skin and be able to just accept what's being said. To some degree, we need to be accountable for what we say. And I think I'm going to take that stance today and be accountable for what I say. I made the statement that the par shot is bullshit. And when I said that in the video, I was just being me, ranting and being funny or whatever. What I mean by that is that, and I said this in the video, I think pretty clearly, I don't believe the physics of that backhand three-fingered toss are conducive to getting any kind of numbers. When I look at slow motion, I see that thing break down. My opinion is, my non-physics degreed opinion is that the physics of that toss don't work, from what I can tell. I said that throw is bullshit, which can be interpreted and was interpreted by people to say people who throw that toss are bullshit, right? Because you infer upon people that kind of thing when you say that kind of thing. And I think and there's really, really good friends of mine that were offended by that statement. And I did not mean to offend anybody. I don't mean to call you or what you do bullshit. That was a poor choice of words. I'm sorry that got heard and taken in that context, and not how I meant it. Really just trying to say that I don't believe in the physics of the throw, period. And I choose my throw primarily because A, I believe the physics of it, but B, it's comfortable for me. And all of the stuff about dice tossing, and I say Randy and the delusionals here because I also say all the time, call the random throwers Randys, or we say chicken feeders. Well, guess what? Random throwing or chicken feeding is an activity, right? You chuck and throw, whatever you want to call it, right? It's fine to say I'm gonna chicken feed today. I'm gonna actually chicken feed, right? Like a farmer would do. But when you say a chicken feeder, now you're hammering somebody individually, right? And people will take that like, fuck, this guy doesn't respect me. And that's not what I mean to say at all. So if I say chicken feeding, it's literally the way I'm throwing versus tossing versus spinning. I'm using it as a way to describe what I'm doing. I don't mean that to be a person. I'm not trying to like infer, crap on a person chicken feeding. As a chicken feeder being a bad, shitty, horrible person, that's not what I mean at all. But I know that it gets heard that way sometimes. Now, that can also bounce back. And some of the people who do not believe in dice control, and that's fine if you don't believe that it's possible, think that we're wasting our time, that's great. But if we're gonna show respect and not call you chicken feeders or Randys, then we expect not to be called delusional, right? On the same level. I think that has to go both ways, right? So either we agree to use, whatever the word I'm looking for is more sane words, great, then let's have it, right? If it's going to be a war of words, then it's ridiculous. And I think I started it because I do this all the time, every day. I say things like that, and I don't realize that friends of mine are going, hey man, that's not cool what you're saying. So ain't cool what I'm saying. I won't be saying it like that anymore. Just so you know, that works, and that's a bi-directional thing. So words matter for everybody. That's what I'm saying there. And I think that goes with a lot of things. There's the math guys. When I say the math guys, I don't mean that as a derogatory thing, but it maybe comes off that way. So, and what I mean to say that is people who rely on the math to make their decisions versus people who rely on their gut or their brains to make decisions. There's two different ways of approaching things. I really don't have a negative or positive opinion either way, but I think it comes off that way sometimes. So if it does, I'm sorry. Like I said, it's the way I talk. You know me, I'm from Philly originally. I just say what's on my mind most of the time without thinking about who's hearing it. And I think I just want to make sure that it's out there, that it does matter to me that you're hearing it, and what you hear matters to me too. So I just wanted to make sure I had that little moment there to let you know about that. Now, specifically with the chopper, that show was interestingly received by people. Some folks love it, some folks hated it. What I didn't realize that, I'll put this up, this is great, Dr. Rest, thank you for that. What I didn't realize was that there's more history to the chopper than I knew about, right? I literally watched Cage throw that thing on YouTube, slowed it down, tried to see what he was doing and tried to replicate it, and I've come up with my own way of doing it. And it works for me. And I wanted to share what works for me with you all. That was why I did the show. Turns out there's a lot more to it than that. There's a lot more that goes into the genesis of that throw, who invented it, who perfected it, who throws it, and all. I didn't even know. I didn't even know there was all this history there. So suffice to say, I didn't do it justice in terms of that. I think I did a good job of showing you what I do, which is fine. But I didn't do the throw itself, the historical justice that it needs. So you can expect a show from me at some point here on the chopper with a little bit of that history in it, and like how it came to be, like I said, where it started and who brought it out and where it is and how it kind of morphed into what it is today, kind of thing. So I'm sorry for not really giving the right history there. I didn't even know there was a history to it. I just figured, like anything else, it's been done before, and here we go. So yeah, more to come on that. I think that show was well received by most people. My calling par throwers bullshit aside, which again, I apologize for that. The other part of that show I thought was pretty good. I thought we did a good job of breaking it down and giving you the reasons why I like it, but I think there's more to it. And it brings me back, way back into that whole dice control debate that we had way back. I did 4 or 5 videos on dice control, never finished the series because this show takes a lot of time. And I decided to go live every day. versus doing all these great produced videos. And this takes a ton of time. So I kind of lost steam on that thing. The Chopper Show makes me want to go back and revisit. And I've got an interview I did with Ed from Roll to Win that's in the hopper. I haven't produced it yet. I'm going to be talking to George from CY. These are two gentlemen that throw regularly, that you watch on YouTube all the time, that are good at this, that have more knowledge than anybody else does, I think, in terms of how to work their dice. I'm going to talk to Michael Feldman again on video. We'll get him recorded here finally because we couldn't do it in Vegas. And he's the guy that runs a school, and we'll get his thoughts on that. And I want to get from him kind of that side of it. I want to give you guys all the sides, right? I want to give you all the sides. You can make your own minds up whether dice control is a thing you should try and pursue or just not worry about it, whatever. And whatever you choose, don't care, right? Do not care what you do. Just, let's quit flipping each other's shit about it. I'm tired of all this. I'm just tired of it with everything, not just with dice control, not dice control, math, no math, freaking whatever else we're talking about. It seems like everything we talk about, we get some of this. That's bullshit. We don't need that anymore. All right, there's that. Let's move on to our next thing, and I want to talk about this. I'm gonna change screens real quick. I'm gonna show you this really quick. And I'm not trying to brag. This is gonna come off as very braggadocious, okay? And I don't mean it to be that way. Let me preface what I'm showing here. This is my practice session from last night. Now, last night I was talking to Chris from Sideshow Gamble, and he's doing that challenge where he's trying to get 20 rolls, right? And I'm like, man, that's just. I appreciate that you're trying that, but for me, not a worthwhile pursuit to go that long. I don't care about the long rolls. I mean, they're nice when they happen, but it's not my goal. I said to him, my goal, honestly, is to get 7 rolls every single time. Like if I knew, or if you knew, that you could throw 7 every single time, how would you change your life? How would you bet differently? And that's, to me, the challenge. So my challenge is going to be to throw a consistent 7. I'm going to try. I'll do some live throwing at night. I don't know if I don't want to step on George's toes by going live and throwing every night, because it'll be boring if it's just that's what I'm doing every night. But I don't want to put numbers like this on screen and not have a video to back it up that I actually did it. But here's what I did last night. I actually was throwing this while George was doing his live last night. I walked the dog, I came back, I said, I'm gonna throw some more dice. When George was still going, so I started throwing. And here's my rolls last night. First roll was a 1. Horrible, right? Come out of the gate like I do in the morning, it's a 0.7 out, or 0.1 hit and then out. But then I rolled 21, 10, 9, 16, 7, a bad one, a 4 and a 6 back to back, 7, 4, 6, not great little session in the middle there. Finished out with a 15 and a 17. 4 times hit the tall. Okay, that was my rolls last night. And you can't see it on camera here, but I'll show you what the rolls were. I had 1, 2, no 3s. I had 2 4s. I had 2 5s. This is the last roll over here. I had 2 6s. I had 4 8s, 2 9s, 1 10, 2 11s, and a 12. So you can see I hit the tall, but I didn't get the 3. Was the one I was missing. And even in a 17 roller, this is what I want to break down for you. Even in a 17 roller, that really felt good. I was really kind of in the groove last night. I want you to look at the box, okay? Look at the box at what I collected on. I think I missed I'll put the 4s over here. I look at the box at what I was able to collect on. Now, every number got hit once in the box, which was good. I got them all at least once. We'll put the 1 hits there. And I was able to press the 4, 5, 6, and 9 one time. Right, the 8 I was actually able to press once and even collect a couple times on. If you look at some of these betting progressions, and on a good 17 roller, right, there's the 1 hit that gets you even on each number. Let's say you same bet the first one, like a lot of people do. Same bet the first one, you're even. These are your presses and collects. There's not a whole lot here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 rolls really beyond just hitting the boxes that actually meant something. As far as like being able to press and or collect. So don't be deluded by a number like 16 or 17 roller as this, A, it's an attainable goal. B, it's not like you're not going to retire on a 7. Even if every roll was 17, you're not going to retire, right? On that roll, unless you're pressing the shit out of these things and you're hitting them like this. This is the one that I look at. And the pressing method that I'm going to show you today, the white, white, red from VDC, I'll show you this progression today. Even on a 17 roller that was pretty good, the only time I would have collected any money would have been here on these two 8s. Because these are both press, 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 collect, collect. I would have had 2 collections on the 8 out of a 17 roller playing what I'm about to show you as a really good strategy. I showed it to you yesterday. We all liked it. But even on a great roll like that, this is what I got. 2 actual collects at table max on the 8, which is interesting. Yes, I hit the tall. So there's a bonus in here. And I told you before, people who quote unquote win and do great at craps, it's always because somebody hits one of these things, right? Those bonuses getting hit is where they're making their big money. It's not even up in the box. And even here, you know, if you had done it doesn't matter which, let's just take any 2 of these out of here. You know, the skill 66, and now all of these are half presses. Even then, half pressing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 times is not bringing home the house. Half pressing from 44 inside with 11 hits spread across all the numbers is not a lot of money, right? The best you're going to do is be able to half press the 8 3 times, right? You're going to go from 12 to 18 to 24 or 30, maybe collect at $30. That's going to be your best number on a half press system. So think about the reality. I said it yesterday, the reality of craps is it's a hard freaking game and it's not solved, right? This is what you're looking at. This is not a miracle. This is my normal. My normal is this. My normal is in here, 7 or 9 or whatever. That's what I normally throw. Again, I'm looking to get out of 10 tries at it, I want all 10 to be at least 7. Failure, there's 5, I guess that's 8, that's okay. Failure, failure, and failure. 3 out of my 10 last night were fails, right? I didn't get 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 should be 7 or more if I can actually control the dice or have influence. That's what I'm looking for. This is what my practice habits are, by the way. I do this all the time. So I know when I tell you my average is X, I'm not making it up. I do this all the time. So now I'll start filming it for you so you can see the way that I do it. But I wanted to highlight it because as I was doing this last night, it just struck me as, wow, these are pretty good rolls, but really, what would I have been able to do in those rolls? Not a whole lot. Only on the 8, on the one time where I hit the 8 so many times, 4 or 5 times, whatever it was. That's where you get some extra juice in your game. But really, this is a hard game. And I want to keep impressing upon you how damn hard craps is because we think that we've got these systems that are going to work. And like I said yesterday, most systems don't work because the dice have got to do what they're going to do. And even when the dice do something pretty special, it still isn't it still isn't magical. And I want to make sure that we're always being honest about that. I'm not going to show you some stuff here and blow smoke up your rear ends and tell you how easy this game is to beat and how this is the next great system because it just doesn't exist, right? The consistent ways to win right here, man. That's the consistent way to win. I know that Vince hates it, but playing for the 7, that's the one thing you can be guaranteed. Everybody 7's out eventually. And that's why guys like old number 7, my friend Bob, his entire system is all don't pass based because he knows that's what's going to happen. The 7 is going to come, right? And you're gonna win on every single shooter at some point if you're betting the 7. Period. So I just think that's very, very important for us all to know. So there we go. Yeah, and Waylon's way. Actually, you know what? It was the 9. Yesterday it was that 9. The 9, man. Oh my God, the 9 rolled 17 times, and it should have rolled 7. It was insane how much the 9 rolled. What an outlier that was. It was absolutely insane how that worked. Anyway, let's go to. I want to show you the next thing, which is going to be this white, red progression. And this is a VDC thing. I'm going to bring my my other chip rack in the middle here and show you how he does this. And I have a link, I think it's already in the description, to go to the VDC and CDC channel. His name is Richard. He's a really good guy. I met him in Vegas. I hung out with him for a few hours. I learned a lot from him. He's one of these guys that's like, how do I say this without being a suck up? He's incredibly smart, right? If you talk to him, your brain will hurt because he's so freaking smart. And he's been doing this for a lot of years. And he's like me. He just student of the game, digs what's going on. So here's his system. And I'll use the chips. He calls it the white, red because of the way that he organizes his chips. And there's 6 whites. There's 6 whites, I think. Yeah. And here's 6 red chips. And what he does is he sets up part of his rack to match the numbers. So here is going to be the 10, the 9, the 8, the 6, the 5, and the 4, like so. He puts reds, and then he gives each one of them 2 white chips, like so. And I'll actually reverse these so you can see them better on camera. If I do them forward, it's probably better for you to see them, but in the real rack, I would have them bent towards me, like so. So there's red, boom, and 2 more too short. And all he does is what I was doing yesterday, which is he uses the chips to kind of help him know where he's at in the progressions. So let's say that a 9 rolls, right? It's 10, 9. What he'll do is he'll press it up. So the 9's gonna pay, let's say it pays 14. Let's just say we drop in a buck and we say it's 15 for 1. He presses the 9 all the way up. It's a full press. It goes to a quarter. I'll leave the red chips there. It goes to a quarter. He takes his 9, takes his white chip, and puts it underneath. If he's looking at a white chip for a number, it's a press. The 9 hits again. It's 35 bucks. It's a full press. It goes all the way on top. He takes his white chip and buries it. Now he looks at the 10, the 9. The 9 showing a red chip. Sweet. Here we are at 60 bucks. That's going to pay 84. We'll say it's 85. 85 for 1. That's a collect. What he does after the collection, puts the red chip underneath, and now he's on press mode again. He goes, he's going to press it, and collect. And he uses the chips in his rack to help him remember where he's at. On a long roll, especially if you're the shooter, George from CY says this all the time. He likes to put less pressure on himself as a shooter. In other words, like less betting pressure. Like he doesn't want to think about all this crap. He wants to focus on his throwing, which is fine. Here's a way to focus on your throwing and just remember, oh, that's a press. Thank you very much. Bury the chip. And now you know what you're doing. You don't got to think about your money. You're just doing what it says. Makes sense, everybody? So that's the white, red progression. And that's where it gets its name, is by what color of chip are you looking at for each of your numbers. And now you know what your next play is on any given numbers. That's white, red. It's a powerful and really aggressive way to bet. Okay, this is not the kind of thing, if you are a part of the dice influence community, if you think that you can control the dice or have influence, or the people you're playing with have influence, and you really can quote unquote prove it, or you've done it, bet this way. This is the way that you would put your money out there. I believe John's going to get 17 rolls, and we're going to go press, collect on these numbers, and we're going to make money. On my 17 roller, the 8 was the only one that wouldn't profited here. Remember that. On a 17 roller, I hit them all twice, which means every one of them was red, and had all of them. They were all red except for the 8, like this. Everything was like red. The 8 actually over here, I got to red, collected. I was able to press, and collect a second time. That was it. The rest of them were all looking red to me. I never collected. My rack looked like this. I never got that collect on any of them. Even on a 17 roller, never got to collect. So while it's a beautiful system, there are, the dice have to play with you. So there's the white, red system. Now, I called the video today Table Max. And I want to be clear about this. This came up in chat yesterday too. Table Max, I wish you could see it. I guess I can do it. I can do it. It'll be weird, but to put my hands here. Table Max, air quotes, right? My Table Max is here in Washington, is this. We can't go higher than 500 bucks. That's our Table Max. But rarely do I run out here like I did yesterday. And I think Waylon made this comment in his video last night or in the afternoon. I showed you this strategy yesterday at this level. We went 750, right? I can get to quote unquote Table Max from 750 on any number in 2 hits. We saw that yesterday. I'll show it to you again today. Table Max here is 500. Table Max to you could be anything. You don't have to shoot for $5,000 bets, okay? Let's just say that you're at this level, the $64 level. And I'll leave these big ones up here. If you're at the $64 level, what I would tell you is this: your max, right? Do your base bet. Your max ought to just be 2x your base bet, or 2 times. So in other words, let's take the 5 as the example here. The 5 hits, again, we'll do 15 for 1, okay? So we'll take the reds away and we'll bump it up to a quarter. And on the 5, for the 5, that's your first hit. Okay. Your second hit on the 5, it goes to 35 bucks. We bump it up to 60, right? That's your second hit. Now you're in a collect mode, and your collect, now you're at this green level here. You bumped it up twice. You're collecting essentially 50 bucks or so per hit. You could stay here. This could be your personal table max. Once you get to a red, you can stay at red because you're, in this case here, you're getting 85 bucks, 84 plus minus 1. Every single hit, you're going to get 85 bucks, right? You can stay here. This is your personal max for a number. You work hard to get the 5 to a red chip. If you get a number to red, you can stay at red and just bring home 75 bucks all day long, right? You bring home one of these, any one of these. This is like the old Casino Quest double tap. Once you do 2 full presses, any one of the numbers comes back. There's your, well, I don't have the nickel here, but there's your $64 that went across to start you off. You get one red to collect, you're out of the hand, and you can stay there. You can stay and get them all red and just be here collecting, you know, the money. I'll show you what they look like. On the 4, how does the, let's put this back here to 85 bucks. We'll leave the 5 and 9 to 85 bucks so you can see it. The 4 works like this. It would be 18 bucks. Ah, geez, come on, John. 15, 18 bucks. Now you could do 20 for 2 or just take the reds and drop them on top and press your 4 to a quarter. Hit number 1 on the 4. Now the 4 looks like this. Hit number 2, pays 50 bucks, goes to 75. When you're collecting on the 4, you're bringing back 150 every single time. I'm okay with that. My personal max from 64, 2 hits and I'm collecting all day long. That's totally fine. It's no different than starting at 750 like I did here and the 4 hitting and being stacked up and then the 300 hitting, going to 500 bucks. Now I'm at table max and I'm collecting 400 bucks every single time. That's fine too, right? What I want you to do is consider what is your max. So if you're at 64 bucks, get them all to where you got 50 bucks down here or 75 bucks down here and you're collecting that level all the time. There's no need to go past this from here. Getting from 10 bucks to 60 bucks takes 2 hits. Doing 2 more presses and another collect, that you're looking at 6 hits on a number before you get paid a second time, right? If you're lowballing it and you're at 64 bucks, be respectful of your bankroll, get to the 2 or 3 green level and stay there. It's totally fine to stay there, right? And let's do it again. I'll take all this away. I want to do it again, but I want to do it now from a little higher level. So when I said to you before, I want to start getting to the green level, right? My 401g account is allowing me now to go to the green level as my base. Great. What does that look like for me? It looks like this. And again, my personal table max, I'm not going for 500. I'm trying to get this just jacked up to 330, right? Or 440. Watch what happens here. We're going to do the same thing. We'll take the 5. That's going to get paid 35 bucks. Out of the gate, 35 bucks. Stack it up. Next hit is going to be 75, 85, 84 for 1, right? We're going to take this and go right to 125 with it. I'll keep the reds. I'll go to 100 and a quarter on hit number 2. And now I'm at the black chip level. So 2 hits in, I'm at black chip level, and that's 175. Every time it comes back, it's 175. That 175 pays for my entire spread that I had. Matter of fact, there's my 150, there's my 160. $35 in profit, plus I'm paid for, and I can stay right here. My personal max from 160 is gonna be everything at black level. My personal max is to get them all to blacks, okay? The 4, same thing, it's gonna pay 50 bucks the first time. I'm gonna stack that up. The second time it hits, it's gonna get paid 150, like so. I'll take back the 1 and a quarter, I'll leave 100 bucks out there. And I'll take 200 bucks every time that 4 hits now. Again, after 2 hits, I'm at the black level. The black is my personal max when I'm playing at the $25 level. 2 hits to black, rack black all day long. At the red level, it's 2 hits to 50 or 75 bucks, and I'm racking 50 or 60 or 75 bucks every single time. When I'm at the black level, it's 2 hits to purple. So it's 2 hits. When you're white, white, red, That red indicates to me my goal for the session is to get my bets to a level and, potentially stay there. Or let's say that I worked all these. Let's work them all. We got the 4 to $100. Let's say we worked the 10 to $100. We got the 5 and 9 both up to 125. The 6 and the 8 work like this. Again, $35. You take your cap, you go to 60 on the 6 and 8. Put that over there. 60 is going to pay $70. 50, 60, 70. And again, we're going to steal the cap. We're going to go to 120 on the 6 and 8, and they're going to both be at 120. And here you are at 640. Now, if I have worked like I did last night, and why don't you take my roll, my 17 roller from last night, where I worked 17 rolls and I got here. Every single one hit twice. I would have worked from 110 or 160 to 640, just like this last night. A little more, actually 690 because the 5 and 9 are 125. Right? I would have been at 690 last night with that 17 roller. This is the time to either collect, or pull back $690 to my rack, right? This 690 represents $530 in wins, right? Recognize where you're going to be. Get to your max. This is a great way to get there. Full press, and now you're in collect mode. If you get 17 rolls like I did, you're full pressed all the way across. I got to 640 or 690 from 160. I'll take 530. That looks like a purple chip, right? Coming back to my rack. I'll take that all day long. I'll regress back down to 160 and take 530 back and do it all over again. That's totally fine to do. Or you can sit here and just collect purples while you're in red mode. So again, use your chip rack to kind of get you where you want to be. Know what your next move is going to be. And again, at the red level, you can pull it all down. You can just sit here and grind away and collect purples. Every time last night on the 8, every time when I was at the max on the 8, it was at 480. It's 560, 560, 560 every time I hit that thing. Right? Not bad when you're at the red level. So there it is. If you want to go super, super high, reset it and press it again and press it again. Because the 8 at 120, you know it pays 140, right? 125, 140. And from here, you're actually getting to 240 on that second one, right? And that pays 280. Where are we going to be here? We're going to be at 300, 400, 480 at least. And now you're getting to 560 on your collection, right? So 2 cycles through from a quarter, from $30, 2 cycles through, you're at $500. So you can keep on working the white, red. But like I said, I use this as a tool. To me, 2 hits and collect, generally speaking, is where my goal is, right? I can get to $100 from a quarter in 2 hits, and now I'm collecting $2 every time we come through. So that's the white, red. That's the way that I would play it. To me, it's an aggressive way to get where I want to be. And really, to me, the goal of getting where I want to be and staying here and collecting on black chips was the goal from green chips. Collecting on multiple green chips was my goal when I started out with red chips. Collecting purple chips is my goal when I started out with black chips. It's okay to go press. You're at your goal weight and just stay there and freaking eat all day long. That's an okay way to do it. And that's the white, red. I wanted to show you that because I did it yesterday and didn't really talk about any of the theory behind it. I just kind of threw it out there and played it out and didn't talk about it even a little bit. So I thought today would be a good day to talk about it, like I said, a little bit. And now that we've done that, let me go ahead and roll some dice. I have not touched my dice yet this morning, so God knows what's going to happen here, but let's leave this out here for you to see. I'll use this to kind of manage my chip rail. I'll manage that publicly. We're going to go out here at the 160 level. And I'll throw some dice and we'll see this thing work in action. I did it yesterday and I failed, right? We failed 7 out of 10 times. We did not get our number throwing it randomly. We'll see what happens today. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera out so you can see the actual numbers here. Give me a second to do this. I got to get my browser going and change the roll tracker out. Sorry about that. Let's put this here a little bit more. I'm not going to play the field at all today. Let's see. Where's the roll tracker? All right, clear it out. There we go. All right, let's do it. Let's roll a little bit of dice here and see if we can make any kind of hay here. So let me get, let's get a point established first. Good, we're on a point of 9. Oh, I didn't pull the roll tracker over here. Hold on. Okay, there's our 9. And we'll just do a couple of hands worth. I know it's getting kind of late. I've been talking a lot this morning. So there's your 6, 3, 9 in the middle there. And let's move the coffee cup a little bit, have a quick sip, get myself juiced up. Let's play some white, white, red. See if we can't make any kind of hay here at all this morning. Again, first actual throw of the day is coming, so I have no idea. Not thrown, not warmed up. There's my 7. Just like last night's practice, my first throw was a 7. So we'll lose it. I'm actually gonna mark down here. I'll put it, yeah, I'll just go pass, don't pass, I guess, for wins and losses. Just trying to keep things visual. Same as yesterday. Give me a hopefully some grace period here to get myself warm and get some good throws in. All right, there's another 9, 5, 4, 9. Are we going to be on one of those 9 days again where everything is a 9? That's kind of funny if that happens to us. Last night for me, the number was the 8 during practice session. There's a 1, 2, 3, and let's mark this out here in the ATS. With this being in the, I'll move this down here. It's kind of in the way because I can't get through the cum. You still see that if I move it over here? Well, the chips, the dice may hit that, so if they do, I'm sorry. Here we go. All right, there's a 10, a 6, 4, 10. We'll mark the 10 here. I'll log it into the computer here. And again, that 10 is going to get paid 2. We're going to stack it right up, and the 10 is going to get moved in. So we know that we have still on press mode if we happen to hit a second 10. And again, using the rack in this case to tell me what to do while I'm shooting. I'm not thinking. I can focus on my dice. And, you know, if that works out, that works out. There's a 6, 3, 9. 6 into 3, that's a 9. Again, I'm going to have to try and move it through here if you can see it. 6, 3, that'll be the point being hit. And again, the 9's going to get paid $35. We're going to stack that right on top. That'll pay us 84 later on. 9's already marked in here. I'm actually going to stack it so I know what I did. And let's come out with a new number. One thing to point out too, that, hold on a second, let me just concentrate for a minute. The rolls that I put out there for you last night, that's going to be an 8. The roll history that I did out there, I don't do the point when I'm just throw practicing. I'm just counting numbers between 7s. I'm not doing the puck or anything else. I'm really just throwing dice to see what I can do in terms of numbers, right? Or roll length. I'm not really tracking the rhythm of the game. I'm just getting my throws dialed in. Ooh, they hit. 3, 2, 5. Let's move the dice up here so you can see it. There's a 3 and a 2. There's your 5. So this is feeling a lot like last night did to me, where I'm hitting multiple numbers one time. The 9's hit once, the 10's hit once, the 5's hit once. Let's mark that up in here too. You need them to repeat in the white, white, red in order to make any kind of money, right? This is nice to see them being hit. But again, you got to get repeats for it to work. That's the whole trip here. 314, Little Joe, Big Joe from Wisconsin. 314, and again, that pays 2. We'll stack it, and the 4 is going to be ready to. I didn't move my 9 chip over. So the 4, the 5, the 9, and the 10 are all rolling through here. Let's go. Did I put the 4 in there? I didn't. 314. Okay. Okay, here we go. It's a 5, 3, 8. That's the point being hit. 5 and a 3. So we hit the 8 twice. I didn't mark it the last time. We hit the 8 twice. Once as the point, once with it being the point. And only one of those was a collectible event. That's going to be taking the cap and replacing it with the winnings. Now I have $60 8, and the 8 is also one away from being able to be collected on. We've hit them all once, but we haven't done any work yet, okay? And if you're looking at the tracker, the roll count, from this last 7, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rolls now since the last 7. To me, as a dice thrower, that's my goal. I hit my goal. My goal as a thrower is to get to 7. Now, this strategy that I'm showing you here, this white, white, red, is not a strategy where if you roll 7 times, you're gonna make any money, as you can well see. The way that I normally play, rolling 7 times, I can make some money. Coming out to a 4, 3, 7, which sucks because we lose the ATSs. It's a 4, 3, 7. I'm gonna leave these here. Actually, I'm gonna move, I'll put these behind here. 2 8s, 2 9s, the 3, I'll put it here. I just wanna see what we rolled, a 10 and a 5. But this gets cleared because it was a come out 7. Okay, the come out 7 doesn't matter. But it does actually get me to 7 rolls and it resets my clock, which is cool. At a casino, we're still going. This is roll 9 now of my thing. In my brain, I'm 7 rolls between 7s. There's a 6, 3, 9. We're back on the 9. I'm gonna mark it up. I'll note it here. That's 3 9s, by the way. 6 and a 3. Let's get a repeater, come on. 4, 1, 5, that's cool. So the 4, 1, 5, the 5 hits. Now the second time the 5 hits, I'll mark it up over here, 4, 1, 5. Oh, I didn't put the 9 in there, sorry. 6, 3, 9, 4, 1, 5. There, the roll tracker's right. Now, the 5's gonna get paid. I'm gonna do 85 for a pretend 1. I don't have 1 in my rack. I guess I could have put nickel, 5 whites in there. We'll take 1 out of it. 5 gets paid $85. We're gonna go ahead and just leave it at 100. Okay, press it to black. I'm gonna take this money back to my rack. And my rack has got $45 in it. Not the 160 I started with, but I got something out of it. The 5 right now is in collect mode. If another 5, 140 is coming home. Okay, that's what I want. Right, you're working hard to get to this point right here where I can actually do something. That's the white, white, red. The white, white, red is gonna work if I can roll a 5. Right, here we go. Heart 8. So that's going to be, oh, the point is still 8, or the point's still 9. So the heart 8, let's mark the 8 up. Let's note it up in here. 60 pays 70. Right? And again, to pay that, you remove the cap and stack it up. That becomes 120. I'll make the greens look like a black. And now my 8 is also in collect mode. So I've got 2 numbers. The 5 and the 8 are in collect mode. My rack is still not right. Right? We're still not even and able to take money back. But if we can get some hits, I've got 2 numbers, the 5 and the 8 at my goal weight, right? The 4 and the 10 are just 1 away from being at goal weight. I didn't mark the 4 down there. All right, here we go. Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm working really hard here. Hope you guys realize how hard this is to get numbers pressed up to that point where you can start making money. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, a lot of sweating. There's the 4, 3, 7. So we don't get past it. We did all that work, right? We had a roll length, if you count the entire thing, that's gonna be 7, 8, 9, 10 collectible numbers and a come out 7. So it's a roll length of 11. That's right where I wanna be as a shooter. I wanna be in that 7 range all the time, but we got nothing out of it, right? We got a pittance out of it. We did not get to collect. Now, had we done this a different way and collected money, going back to where we started, I'm gonna reset all the bets down to where we started them. There's my 160 that I started with. What I had on the felt, 200, 75, $300, right? We'd worked it to $300 there. If you were gonna pull down at some point, that's where you could have been. But again, a system like this is designed to get you where we got to. We got where we wanted to be. We just didn't execute the plan. Okay, and I'm fine with that. I'm just, again, I'm showing you kind of how this works. And frankly, I'm okay with the 11, 12 roller. That's actually pretty good. Let me reset the rack. Get them all back where they ought to be. White, white, red. We'll do one more roll through and we'll call it good. because I'm gonna have to get to work. We'll take this away, take that away. All right. Here we go. Reset to 160. Let's get my dice set, and here we go. Come out 7. It was actually a pretty solid throw. That's 2 throws in a row that I actually liked as they left my arm. That both resulted in a 7, so I'm not sure if that's a mechanical thing or just the way that the back wall randomizes the dice, right? Every throw is a random. There's another one, 6, 1, 7. Look at that, 3 7s back to back to back. Let's get those things out of our way right now. We don't care. We don't care when the puck is off. But I do care that I'm throwing 7s. I want to see. All right, hard 10. Hard 10, 5-5, hard 10. I'm going to mark that up here. I'm going to mark it behind so I know how many I've hit. We're going to change our 10. Oh, we're not able to collect. We have to wait till we press it up. 5-5, hard 10. There she is. Boom. All right, here we go. There's a midnight. It does nothing. I hate that. Do not like seeing, I mean, for the ATS, of course, you love it. But as far as like, again, a strategy like this where I'm aggressively pressing, that does me no good. It's a waste of a roll. Talking while I throw. There's a hard 6, 3-3. Hard 6. Let's mark that up, 3 and a 3. We'll mark the 6 in here. I'll mark the 6 back here so we know. That's going to get paid $60. We'll take the cap and we'll press her up. I'll mark that in the rack. There we go. It's our first one that we can actually take some money back with, or that we're marching towards something with at least, right? Okay, here we go. 6, 2, 8. Right here, that's an 8. That's an easy 8. We'll mark the 8. 6 and a 2. And again, the same thing as the 6. It gets paid $35. We take the cap, press it to 60. Back to the rack we go. Now I've got this, the 8 is also marching towards being able to get collected on. There's the 6 and the 2, by the way. Here we go. 4, 6, 10. Otherwise known as a 6, 4, 10. There it is, 6 and a 4. It's a 10. That's going to be our point being hit. That'll be our second 10 as well. And that's going to get paid $50. We're going to mark it up. I'll then pay my VIG. There's my 10. Again, the rack is telling me what I need to know. This is one away. That's one away. That's one away. We're working it. The puck is off. Let's get going. Did I mark that up? I did mark that up. Okay. Here we go, coming out. 5, 3, 8. It's already been marked as ATS, but I'll note with a lammer that it was my second 8 that I threw, which I think is important. Important for me to know what I'm throwing here. And I wonder, and I can ask you this in chat, you're seeing how I throw. Would you work the come out? Because obviously I've blown the 10 and the 8 on the come out rolls. I didn't get them, although I did have 3 come out 7s in a row. So there's an interesting debate to be had there. This is, and we'll talk about it again, why I don't work the come outs. I think that I've made the case for and against it here. There's the 2, and on this exact throw, right? Working the come out's great because I would have got the 8 and the 10 on those 2 shots. I missed out. However, the 3 come out 7s would have wiped me out for 160 on 2 consecutive come out 7s. I would have lost 160. So there's the reason why I don't do it. I don't like working the come out because of the multiple 7 thing. Okay, here we go. Let's get a nice repeater here somewhere. Oh, they kissed a little bit. That's a 6, 4, 10. Fantastic, baby. Love it. Waylon would say, Shazam. 6, 4, 10. Okay, that's my second 10, or my third 10 actually. That's going to pay $150. 150. Okay, well, it'll cost me $3 in VIG, which is, I don't care about that. But I'm going to take back to my, oh my God. I'm going to take back all the quarters and leave the black here. So the 10 is in collect mode, even though we've collected on it, right? The 10 actually paid for itself on the way back. I'll drop off 4 greens and pick up a black. So it's 125 coming home from that hit, but it's at the black level now. The 10 fully in collect mode right now. 6, 4, 10. I'd love to see one more of those. That'd be fantastic. Let's get a collect on one of these things that's in the red zone. There's a 9, 5 and a 4. That's a 9. I think it's our first hit on the 9. We'll mark that up. That's going to pay 35 bucks and get pressed right up. The 9 gets marked in the box. There we go. Let me mark that in that thing. 5, 4, 9. And again, if you're tracking my goal, my personal goal, I'm there. From that second come out 7, I got 10, 6, 8, 10, 2, 10, 9. That's 7 rolls, right? I'm looking for 7 rolls after a 7 with the way that I throw. All I care about right now is, am I getting 7 rolls between my 7s? And I am. So I'm hitting my goal weight every single time I'm throwing here, which is what I wanted to see. Whether I make money at this particular strategy, not that it's not immaterial, but my purpose of practicing is, can I guarantee myself most of the time 7 rolls as I'm shooting? There's a 3, 2, 5. Okay, the 5 now, we'll mark it in the rack. It's going to get paid 35 bucks and get pressed up. I'm going to take one of my nickels here and make it pennies, so that when I can do my payments as they come through. 3, 2, 5. Here we go. Hard 10. Boom. 5, 5. Hard 10 pays 200 bucks. We're on a red chip, which means it's a straight up collect. Okay, drop my VIG. And there it is, right? There's the first red. Now I have a choice. I can stay at here and just keep racking them blacks, baby. Rack the black. Again, I worked myself from 160 to my goal of black. I'm staying here. I'm going to be on collect mode here. I'm not going to try and push this thing to table max, although I know I could go from 100 to 300, from 300 to 500 and be at table max in 2 more hits. I'm going to keep it right where it is. Okay. But that's finally, we got the white, red to pay off on the number you wouldn't think would pay off, right? The 10 and the 4 are the hardest ones. I actually got the 10 to work. That's awesome. I actually didn't mark it up here. I should have marked this as my 4th 10, by the way. There's a 4, 2, 6, 4 and a 2. That's a 6. The 6 is at 70, or 60 rather. It's going to pay 70 bucks, like so. We're going to take the cap. We're going to take the winnings and stack it up. That makes it look like 120. So the 6 is at goal as well. Mark it up. The 6 is on a collect. So I have two of them now are on collect mode, which is great. I'll mark up the second 6 that we've got. Actually, that's the second 6. All right, here we go. Did I mark on the roll tracker? I did. All right, let's get it. Let's make some more money. Come on now. Mo money. Here we go. 617. We didn't get any more money. We got no more money because I was singing. 617, but that's okay. We did get a collect on the 10. I'm happy about that. That was really cool. We got 2 numbers to the collect stage. And again, if you want to go ahead and play the game of how much money did you leave out there, let's play the game. Let's take all this down. I'll go back to my 160. And on the felt was 100, 200, 25, 250, 265. Okay, so 265 on the felt, not a lot out there, but enough, that if we would have gotten another hit or so, it would have been meaningful. And if I look at the roll count, I'm pretty happy, right? I'm pretty happy. I've got from the last 7 to this 7, let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rolls between 7s. That's, again, straight on my average. I'll take 10 rolls between 7s every single day. We missed the tall by the yo, right? Just needed a yo, which is a number that I actually roll quite a bit. I would have loved to have had the tall hit there, would have made this conversation a whole lot easier, but that's it. There's the white, red on a mediocre roll, 10 rolls. almost got the tall, got one to collect. Love it, right? There it is. Vince says give up on the play style. It's lose-lose. Like I said, it's an aggressive press. This is an aggressive way to press. It's not, what am I saying? It's not the panacea, but it's aggressive. If you want to build to max quickly and get out, that's a way to do it. And that's why I like the white, white, red. If you're going to roll well, it's super aggressive. I think it's kind of cool. So there it is. Let's go back here to just me. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the chats real quick and to see if there's anything that I missed. I will do this here. I will say this, Vince, once again. I'm going to make a note of this, and I will do a DP-DC comparison for sure. And Vince, while I have your attention, I know that you're still here. You did a video the other day where you talked about the don't pass and why you shouldn't play it, but I can't find it. I'm not sure if it's on your main channel or some other channel, but I can't find it. I was going to do kind of a point counterpoint with you on that. So I want to get that video and watch it again and take notes from you. And then as I do that video, maybe we can talk about some of the things there. So if you can find that video, I would appreciate knowing where that is. I may just be looking in the wrong spot. So if you would do that, maybe email me or something, that'd be really cool. And Dr. S says, is covering all the numbers and playing them individually is a hard way to make money. Interesting. And I want to talk about this because let's go to the table. Let me go back over here. Table with Keynote. Let's do this one here. We can, oh God, that's terrible. There we go. What you're saying is this: covering all the numbers and pressing them individually is a hard way to make money versus covering all the numbers and pressing across. So in other words, if you got like a $35 win here, 10, 20, 35, right? And pressing like the 5 and the 9 up by $10 each and the 6 and the 8 by whatever each, right? Like spreading your press around, you increase all the numbers. I like the pineapple press, right? I like to press up the 6 and the 8, drop a buck, and bring them both to 48, then bring the 5 and 9 up, then bring the 4 and 10 up. That's a way that I like to play normally, where you're pressing multiple numbers and spreading out the wealth. However, VDC, who is the genesis of this plan, would tell you this, and he's a big believer, by the way, in trending. He believes very, very, very religiously that trends happen, right? That the dice do what the dice do on repeat. And I don't think he's wrong about that. Yesterday, I threw so many freaking 9s, it was crazy. Some days you just get into a pocket, and for whatever reason, those numbers show. He will tell you that in a world where that's true, pressing the number that's hitting is the best way to do it. If you're going to hit 11 9s in one day, why are you pressing the sister number? Press the 9. Don't press the sister. I'm not hitting the 5, I'm hitting the 9. Press the one it's hitting. So schools of thought there for sure, Dr. S. You can say on one hand, covering them all and doing individual presses, and as you see, it's a hard road to hoe, as I did this morning. If you're throwing like I was yesterday, where you are hitting a number, that's the best way to make money because you're all over the number that's hot, quote unquote hot, or the number that's being hit. So again, you got to weigh that out. Your personal brain has got to tell you how to do it. I do like the inside out pressing method, where I can get action across a couple of numbers with every hit. I like that a little better for my brain, but in super aggressive mode, this is a killer way to play. This is a killer way to get your numbers up there to table max quick. I like that for sure. The cheese says ladder would be great with my numbers. And again, the way that I play, right? What do I always talk to you guys about? I'm always talking to y'all about the short game, getting in, getting out, getting 3 hits and down, 4 hits and down. What you saw today, aside from the first throw where I just came out with an immediate 7 like that, that's what I do, man. I throw 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9 all day long. Like my throws are always 7, 8, or 9. I tell you this kind of colloquially in the shows here. I'll throw more and more like I actually throw, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm always in the same zone, 7 to 8 to 10 numbers all the time. My strategies are built around the short game because I throw a short game. I don't throw the short game. I throw a good short game, a 7 to 10 short game. That's why I press and play the way that I play. I'm conservative because of the way that I know that I throw, if that makes sense. So that's why I think the whole chopper discussion from yesterday is important. I think it's important to know what you throw, right? Yesterday was actually a little bit of an aberration. I had a 21, a 16, and a 17, and a 15. I don't normally get that high. If I'm seeing 12 to 13 numbers, that's a lot for me. A couple of bigger ones yesterday that I'm used to seeing. But if you know what you throw and you believe that you're having some influence, you got to bet you. And I bet me. And that's why I'm teaching all the time is like the short game is where it's at. So there it is. Yeah. And you're saying play the numbers as groups. And here's the thing. Like I get what you're saying. I watched Vince's video. I don't like the uptown, downtown. I really don't. I realize that for Vince, it works. I don't have unlimited money, number one. And B, a 6 hitting does not mean a 10's going to hit later, right? If I'm going to double press, I would rather do the sisters at least. I don't know. To me, the whole uptown, downtown thing, I understand it. I know that Vince wins with it when he does it on his shows. But for me, there's no correlation between hitting a 6 and pressing a 10. There's no, I might as well, why wouldn't I press the 4? Or the 8 and the 4. If I hit the 8, why not press the 4? Why the 10 instead of the 4? Just because they're on the same side of the sheet? That doesn't make any sense to me. Mathematically speaking, there's no sense there. There's nothing on the dice that tells me that, nothing mathematically that tells me that, unless I'm throwing a lot of, like we said yesterday, if I'm throwing a lot where I see the 6 showing a lot, then I might go uptown. That might make some sense with the dice, if the dice are telling me that. But the strategy itself, betting half the board, I never understood it. And again, I don't play with unlimited money. We talked about a lot of times your bankroll being your hammer. The way that you play Dr. S with the 440 or the 330, the way that Waylon plays with his laddering strategies and the way that Vince plays with the markers, your bankroll is a big hammer that you've got. You can do things like that because you have the bankroll to work those big groups of numbers. Those of us who don't, that are buying in for $750 or $1,000, our bankroll is not our hammer, right? That's I think the truth of it. I think Waylon said it in his video yesterday, very, very eloquently. If you don't have the bankroll, don't play that way, right? And I don't have the bankroll to play with my bankroll as the hammer, unless I'm on a $5 table. So $1,000 at a $5 table, I can hammer it. $1,000 at a $10 or $15 table, you can't hammer it, and that's why I don't do the big groups that you all do. And the big laddering that Waylon does in groups of numbers, because I don't have the money to go back out from 160 to 220 or 320. I can't do that with the limited bankroll that I've got. And I think that's the reason why I speak and teach the way that I do. So there it is. That's just being honest about it. I think, I'll put it back up here again. I think this play is interesting. It's fun to watch. Vince is fun to watch. And you can hear Vince's mind crackling as he goes. I love it. Not my way of playing. The grouping I understand, but for me, it doesn't work. So there's that. Any other questions that I have to hit on? This is probably a comment from before about mutual respect does not equate to mutual admiration. Very, very well said. I would actually like to put that up somewhere. I'm going to save that quote. It's a really great quote. I love it. I have a lot of respect for George, for Ed, for these other guys. And I know that they do as well. And matter of fact, in all honesty, I've talked to them over the course of this week about that Chopper show. And I realized that I kind of trounced on some of that respect and admiration that we had for each other. And that's why I wanted to apologize today, because I didn't mean to do that. I don't want to take that respect and that friendship for granted and feel like I can just say whatever the fuck I want to say. So that was the reason for that. So there we go. All right, guys, it's 9:15. Holy moly, I got to go to work. I have things to do. Good show today. I had a good show. I thought it was fun. Hopefully you liked the show today. I can see that the voice is off again with the video. Sorry about that. Hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments here if this was a good show. I know it was not a lot of rolling. It was less rolling than I normally do. We had just two shooters there. Folks wanted to see me throw live. You saw me throw live. That's what I do. And hopefully that was just a good kind of, I know I covered like 5 topics today, which is not normal for me. So if that format works, we can do more of that. But anything else you all want to see, please write me. Let me know what you want to see. Vince has given me a good idea here, which is great. And yeah, Dr. S, I love this. This is also another great way of saying it. Too many craps players go to the casino hunting unicorns. Go in with sufficient bankroll. You got to know your bankroll, dude. You say it here. I say it all the time. Your bankroll is your hammer. It may be a ball peen hammer. that's okay. Go in there and get your $50 and get the frick out of there, right? Y'all have a great day. Love every one of you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being subscribers. I love it. This channel's moving. We're at 580 subscribers on Casino Gaming TV. I want to get that to 1,000 soon. Let's get this channel to 1,000 too. And have it, I want to get this channel on its own steam. I actually talked to a guy the other day who's a slot machine guy. Him and his wife do slot machine videos. We may get them on here to do a regular show on slots. Again, Casino Gaming TV is not another craps channel. I want it to be kind of all-encompassing. So I'm working the phones, guys, to make this thing better. So y'all have a great day. Love every one of you. And of course, God bless you. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good one. Bye.